Guys, I just wanted to do a quick video, talk a little bit about the teensy little bit of information we got from 704 games recently. I didn't want to make a video until we got some information. We haven't really gotten that much information, but I was hoping after the Coke 600 they would have released more. They haven't yet. So I'm going to do a quick video on just the little bit of info that was released before that. So I'm just going to go a little bit through the press release that they released and talk. Also, they released a video showing what goes on behind the scenes making the game. They talked a little bit about how they're in the same building as NASCAR and how that's going to help them make a better product. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that stuff and give you my thoughts on what I think on the little bit of information that has been released so far. Again, it's really not a lot of information, so I can only speculate a little bit, and I plan to do like a prediction video like I've done in the past with the other NASCAR release games, just to see how much of what I said comes true and how much doesn't, out of curiosity. But I need more information. I can't really make a prediction based on this. But I'm going to touch on this a little bit, see what you guys think. The official press release, it's pretty much the type of stuff we see all the time. It's like they'll talk about things and they'll use very generic terms. They don't get really into specifics. So they try to get you pumped up, but when you really look at what they say to you, it really doesn't say anything. So I'm going to go through this just so you see what I'm talking about. Okay. The first thing, builds on the core of its predecessor. Okay. Is that good or bad? Whatever. Like I said in the previous videos, I do think that the game is it does have a good core to build on, right? But the problem with the game was it's just bare bones. That's all it is. It's a core. It feels unfinished. It just has so many things missing to make it a complete game and make you feel like you have the full experience of any game, right? So basically it's just you race, but nothing happens. There's no stats, nothing. So it's about as bare bones of a game as you can have. So as a core, it's okay. You have to improve it on what's already there and, of course, flesh it out, add things. That's been my biggest gripe. So, at the surface, that statement builds on the core of its predecessor. Am I excited? There's nothing there, to be honest. This is what I'm talking about. It's a fluff, generic press release, right? So, yeah, the game's going to be better. How? It's early. Yeah, they haven't released, they said they're going to release more information. I get that. But basically, I'm just talking about what we've seen. About the next game, the little bit that's been released, this is all I can really focus on. So focusing on that doesn't say anything, right? Builds on the core of its predecessor. No shit. I should hope it does. But I hope that it's not just a baby step. Now, if I find out that, hey, they really took it to a whole new level and they fleshed this game out and they actually filled it with content, that's great. But, that's not what I'm getting. I'm just getting it, all right, builds on the core of its predecessor. I don't know what to think about that. It sounds good, but it's fluff. It's nothing. And has enhanced online multiplayer. Again, enhanced. You made it better. What does that mean? The multiplayer, I don't even play it anymore. It's a mess. It's just, first of all, nobody runs more than 3 to 5 laps. Everything's a sprint. So if you want to get on a race with serious guys, it's very difficult. And I've raced with some good guys out there. Some of you know me and have raced with me, and Most of these guys, they're good guys. Okay, I don't have a problem with them per se, but the system, the way online racing works, especially for a console system, it doesn't work. And a lot of it, as I've said in the past, it's not even the fault of the developer. It's just the way people are. So if you want to find some good racing, let's say you want to race 100% race and really take it serious, good luck with that. So you actually have to find people. And even when you find people, it just goes to show you that what I'm telling you about the way online racing is, the very nature of it, it'll never work properly unless you have a really good way to control everything, right? The way it is now, it's just a free for all. And I gave the developer a lot of credit because they got 40 players, all 40 cars at once. And not only were they successful at that, which a lot of people didn't think it was possible, including me, I was starting to have doubts. It also runs smooth. I very rarely see someone lag out, and if they do lag out, it's through their own connection. So it runs pretty smooth for what it is, and you get 40 cars on the track. Now the fact that it's one big colossal mess, it's really, it's just the nature of the beast. People don't respect each other. They don't really try to race clean, and those who do try to race clean, they get frustrated. People like myself, I try to respect people. I try to race clean. If I see a guy's faster than me, I don't fucking be an asshole and block him at every corner. But even if you're racing clean, you got so many other guys. Just, it's a free for all. It's not enjoyable. And I don't. If you're telling me that it's a fucking blast, then you're one of these fucking guys that are just out there wrecking people, and you get off on that. All right, you get off on being a troll. So if that's the enjoyment you get out of it, you know what? My hat's off to you. But if you're a real NASCAR fan and you want that experience, good luck. It's not going to happen. There's no caution system. And if there was, and I can't blame, once again, I'm not blaming the developer. You can't have a caution system online because you'd never complete a full lap. So it's already a mess. So it would just make it worse if there was cautions, right? But then people try to call their own cautions, and I'm talking about in guys that try to organize this. It's still a mess. So I don't enjoy the online multiplayer. I'm sorry. I like to race long races. I want to, because part of the NASCAR experience is it's the marathon. It's not these 5-6 lap quick sprints. It's that is so far away from what NASCAR is, and that's all you see in multiplayer. But I have a couple of suggestions that would make online multiplayer better. Would it make it perfect? No. But this is something for the developer to take into consideration. One, and this is a problem with both online, offline, career mode, everything. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Statistics. If there are no statistics, no compilation of your achievements, what's the fucking point? This is why there's no sense of accomplishment, which is the biggest flaw I've seen in NASCAR games all the way back to 2011 to your Technics. You guys don't get it. You're not listening. If you don't give players a sense of accomplishment, it ruins the game. It's just an exercise. You show up to a track, you race, you finish, you move on. If you won, nothing happens. So you don't feel like you're building a career. There's no stats. What the fuck? It's just, you guys really, if anything, you have to listen to what I'm telling you. Statistics are vital to any game, especially to a NASCAR game. So, if strictly speaking of online multiplayer, I would have it where you can only have statistics, right, as a player, if you race a 50% race or more. None of these little mini sprint races, okay? You don't get stats for that. But if you want to build stats, the serious racers, they're going to race minimum 50% races. Yes, they're long, but if you're a dedicated fan and you're really looking for a good experience, you're gonna invest the time. And I would think, for the most part, you'll try to race seriously because you don't want to risk a bad finish, because you don't want to waste an hour of your time or more racing a race just to go out there and be wrecking people and end up with a bad finish, right? And it weeds out these trolls and these guys that just do these sprints because they like this havoc. So make it where if you race 50% or longer races online, it counts. You get stats, right? So if you want to run a league, you'll run a league, and where at least you'll be running 50% races. You'll get people that tend to be more serious racers. So that would help with the experience, right? So that's one idea, okay? Of course, you should have optional caution systems. So when you're running these super long races and you have a group of what you hope are dedicated guys, you can have a caution system. And you could have it maybe where the host of the race can call a caution. You hit a button. People say, hey, somebody spun out, or I spun out, or I crashed. Then you could just press a button, caution. You don't have to do this thing where everybody's speeding, running into each other, trying to form. No matter how many rules you come up with, in my experience, never works. So my online multiplayer racing experience has been horrible. I've given up on it. Okay, so I'm strictly racing offline, and even that I rarely do because the caution system offline is broken, which definitely needs a major overhaul. So the online multiplayer, it's great what they achieved. 40 players can race at the same time, and it's a smooth experience as far as lags, glitches, people lagging out. It runs really good. So if they've been able to do that, kudos to them. They deserve credit. But there's a lot missing to make it a better experience. And also another idea is have it where you could set up a league, and guys sign up and you're part of the league. If you don't make the race whenever these leagues are set, you get a DNF, whatever the case is, and you can run, and it keeps points. Like I said, statistics are so important, and if you have stats, it gives you a feeling of accomplishment, and you're building something, even offline, right? Offline, online, it's necessary. I don't understand why you guys keep omitting statistics, and how nobody in your development team has said, what the fuck? Why aren't we implementing stats? Every game has them, including non-sports games. Another release without statistics, really, you guys are really gonna deserve all the backlash. Okay, so you gotta address that. So now, builds on the core of its predecessor, enhanced online multiplayer, fluff. The next thing they mention is deeper career mode. On its surface, I love the sound of that. That's what this game needs. The career mode is too bare bones, and it didn't go anywhere near where it should have. But again, it's fluff. Deeper career mode. What the fuck does that mean? So if you come out later and you say, okay, deeper career mode, paint booth, uh, fully customizable character, including your fire suit, okay, statistics, everything supported. Your career is going to be fully implemented with stats. Um, Pre-race, post-race content, commentary, victory lane, celebration, uh, things that the content is so important it's what ties the game together. Play any of the NBA 2K games. The thing that's most notable about those games, that stands out the most, that people love about it, is the offline career mode. The fact that things are happening between games, pre-game, post-game, practice, signing contracts, all kinds of content, and it helps flesh out the career mode. So it's not just an exercise like it is with NASCAR, where you just show up, play the game, and you move on to the next game. There are endless stats. There's achievements. There's something to play for. You want to make the Hall of Fame. And as your career progresses, you can see through all your stats the type of player you're building yourself up to be. Numbers matter. These stats, they're some of the most important aspects of these games. And the fact that there aren't any stats in these fucking games is mind-numbing to me. I've been beating this to death, and I realize it. Some of you guys are saying, man, you repeat the same shit over and over every video. I don't care, because it's important. And I'm gonna keep bringing it up until somebody, one of these developers, gets the message and says, what the fuck? We don't have stats. It's a sports game. There's no sense of accomplishment. That's why these games fail. There's no sense of accomplishment. You need content, presentation, and stats to do that. When you complete a race, you want to see what happens. If you had a bad finish, a good finish, how does it stack up not only in statistics and your point standings, but show us. Have a commentator talk about you and how you finished and how that affects your point standings. You got to flesh this game out. It's another bare bones game is not going to cut it. So when you tell me deeper career mode, enhanced online multiplayer, builds on the core of its predecessor, I want to see what you mean by that. So I want to hear about the paint booth and show me some customization with these drivers, fire suits, helmets. Let us customize it so we can match it to our customized cars that we make in a paint booth. Customization is vital to any game. Everybody wants the world to see what they created for themselves and have it stand out as being unique. Everybody wants to be unique. So you have to give that to us. I mean, it's 2017. These are next-gen consoles. There's no excuse anymore. You keep giving us less, even though the technology is giving us more and more capability. So far, everything I've read is just fluff until you show me otherwise. Okay? Game will have a very different look. What does that mean? Visually, are the graphics going to be better? Or are you talking about the menu, the way the system is based? I don't know what it means. Again, game will have a very different look, more fluff. There's no depth to what you're saying. So this is the type of press releases that all developers do, right? They tell you the next game's going to be the latest and greatest. But until they get into details and explain to you why this game is a leap above the last one, I have to be reserved in my critique. So I'm like, to me, so far, they haven't told us anything. There's one thing that they seem to have revealed, which is, let's see. Okay, over the next coming months, we'll announce new features that will excite fans. Are you going to announce Paint Booth? Are you going to announce stats? Are you going to announce, a fleshed out presentation? Are you going to announce, certain improvements that are tangible, not just fluff? Maybe trucks and Xfinity. I'm going to say something real quick about these other series. People have speculated that, yes, we're getting it. Some people I haven't seen anything that says we're going to get it. If we get it, great. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You guys are super, super, super focused on these other series. If you don't get the presentation, the stats, all the other things I'm talking about, that's meaningless. It's just another skin, right? You're going to still race under the same conditions. So what? It's a truck and it's an Xfinity car. and you think that's going to improve the game, no, it's not going to improve it. I promise you, if they don't address these other issues first, that stuff is meaningless. Now, we should be getting those other series. Okay, so I'm not telling you we shouldn't get them. We should be. They should have never been eliminated. We used to get this stuff. But what I'm saying is, if you over focus on that, and they'll hear it and say, just fucking do these extra skins, right? And add whatever handful of tracks, and you know what? We did our job. But the rest of the game is still empty. You're gonna find out the hard way that I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is right. This other stuff is way more important. If you give us a fully fleshed out, okay, monster series, you're not going to give a damn about the other series. Yes, I want them. Don't get me wrong. But you're not going to care. So, you want stats. You want fully fleshed out presentation, pre-race, post-race. I want to see what happens in between. Give us a reason to go spend time in practice, right? I've mentioned it before. Give us like a crew chief you can interact with, where he can guide you to coming up with a setup. Even an automatic crew chief that makes decisions for you based on input or complaints you have as a driver, right? That would flesh out the career mode and give you a reason to spend time in practice. Show the car in the garage where you're talking to your crew chief, and then you go back out on the track and he tells you, okay, we put an 800-pound spring on the right rear, and then you check your lap times, and you can interact with the spotter needs to you need a huge improvement with the spotter. It's important. So that's, the caution system and the spotter are things that are broken and need to be fixed. But like I said, flesh out this fucking game. I want to spend time in practice, but flesh it out. Give us in between the races. Give us a fleshed out presentation that shows us it's not just, okay, I'm just popping up on the next race. That's why there's no sense of accomplishment. And any good game, I don't care if it's sports or anything, there has to be a payoff. There has to be a feeling like, look, I'm building something. And that's what presentation, statistics, these things do. And that's why NASCAR games have failed ever since Technics in 2011 took over. Okay? And we used to get this stuff years ago at EA. So we're getting less and less every time out. Now there's no fucking paint booth. Why? There's no excuse for that. Now you're at the next stage, right? They said they're building on the predecessor. There's no excuse, man. You can't keep omitting this stuff. So I expect this stuff to be in the game, and if it's not, I'm going to go fucking ballistic. So let's see. Over the next coming months, we'll announce new features that will excite fans. I'm hoping that the things I just mentioned, these are the things I want to hear. Now, I'm going to mention also, going back to the video, they showed a split screen. Now, I don't know what the split screen is, but it does look promising. And I'm hoping that you can race someone else along with the field of 40 cars. So, in other words, it's you, somebody else online, and 38 other cars with the AI, right? That would be awesome. Because you're racing, there's the AI, and there's that one guy you're racing online, so you can race out your friends or whoever it is. That sounds promising. I'd love to see that. And imagine you and a particular guy, you get together, whatever you decide, and you run a full season. And you're racing the AI as well. That would be cool. So, I'm just taking a guess. I don't know if you guys can explain to me what the split screen is. I don't remember playing split screen in the past, but that looks promising. So I don't know what it is, and I'm sure they'll probably get into it. But the video clearly showed a split screen. So that's one thing that I can confidently say looks like it's going to be in the game. And they showed the menu, and they showed a few things. And real quick, this thing about the who's going to be on the cover, I am so sick of that stuff. I don't care. They put so much into the marketing, and this goes back to again Eutechnics. They've been doing it since 2011. This whole thing about vote for the guy who's going to be on the cover, and every week they talk about it and they make a big deal out of it. Who fucking cares, really? I don't care if there's a turd on the cover. The cover doesn't matter to me, and it just, I know it's probably harmless, doesn't mean anything. But when they're focused so much on stuff like that, I always feel, and I could be wrong, it just makes me feel like, hey, you're kind of losing focus on more important things. I don't care who's on the cover. It's pure marketing fluff. I don't care about it. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I don't see it going away. They're going to do this every year. I don't see where this generates excitement for the game itself or brings people to come want to try the game. You need to fix this fucking game. So, and that AI needs a lot of work. I'm sick and tired of racing offline and lap after lap after lap. The same cars are clumped up in a pack. Anybody who follows NASCAR knows after a couple of laps, whether it's the start, the restart, or whatever, these cars immediately start spreading out. The cars that aren't that good start falling back. The fast cars start stretching out. Cars start running different lines. I don't see that in this game. Now, I did say that this is the best AI to date of any console, and I still believe that. So, all in all, for the first game, I give them credit. The AI is pretty stable. It's much better than Eutechnics, but there are still issues, and it still needs a lot of work. The sense of awareness is not there. They they run into you at times where it's as if you're not even there. Like they don't know you're there. That's a fucking problem. This game needs a rewind. You know, I know it's not realistic, but man, I race a long race, and if you race long races and you get fucked over by AI, it ruins your race. After you spent an hour of racing and you're deep into a race, you want to have the ability to rewind and at least have a do-over. Okay? It happens every fucking race, and it sucks. Also, the replay system is really terrible. You can replay the race at the end, but you have to watch it from the beginning. You can't fast forward or rewind or whatever. It just starts. And if you run a long race, you don't want to sit there and watch an hour. You want to skip to certain aspects of if you want to watch a replay. So, I don't know what else to say. We don't know a lot. Like I said, when you look at the press release, the video, it's not a lot of information there. And I was hoping that after I came back, I was at Charlotte. I went to the Coke 600. I was hoping that by the time that race was over, they would have released something else. I thought they were going to do that. They didn't, which is why I said, you know what? Let me just put this quick video out just to let you guys know what I think, if you care, of what we know so far. And I haven't made any prediction, and I won't. There's just not enough here for me to say what I think this fucking game's going to turn out to be. But I do expect that as they release information, and like they said, over the coming months we'll announce new features that will excite fans. That's what I'm looking at. I'm waiting for that. When I hear them come out and they be specific, then I could put out a quick little prediction and say, okay, judging by what they've released as far as information, this is what I think. I really, I don't know, man. There's a part of me, and I'm just a cynic, man. I don't think they're gonna address many of the things that I've been bringing up. I just think they're gonna fucking ignore it again, and I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But so far, I don't see. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. If they come out and prove me wrong, I'll be happy. So let's wait and see what happens. And what do you guys think so far from the information we've seen? And hopefully within the next few weeks they release some more information, and then I'll let you know, guys know what I think. So that's about all I have to say. What do you guys think? I look forward to your comments, and I'll see you guys around.